sisters, alright, it's your girl Tiff back at it with them hair tutorials. So the one that was posted a few weeks ago is no longer our show hair for Cvmb19. And that's what I'm here to show you is your new show hair. That is going to be fun and yada yada yada. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you what our new show hair is. Basically it's going to be a small bump right here, just a little poof. I call it a poof, but you can call it whatever you want. And there's going to be 2 Dutch braids along here, and it's going to come back into a half up, half down. And there's going to be a couple braids in the bottom half of your hair. Now, when I say Dutch braids, there's another factor into these Dutch braids. You have this, and I will get these to you as soon as possible. This is going to be braided into the Dutch braids on the side. And this is now a part of your uniform. This is vital for you to complete the show look. This is not optional, and I will get them to you as soon as possible. Also, I am not going to be doing a Dutch or French, preferably Dutch, braid hair tutorial in this video. There's already been one posted in the previous hair tutorial, so if you still need that, hopefully you don't, because hopefully you've been still practicing, but if you do, that is going to be there. And hopefully all of you have watched that, so it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, let's get right into it. Alright, so in order to do your hair, you need a few things. You're going to need a brush, something to section your hair off. I am just using the end of this little brush, but if you have something, go for it. I have a comb, and I'm going to use that to tease a small section of my hair because a brush doesn't really do the job that I want. I have scrunchies and or a hair tie, which you will use to section off larger sections of hair. And then I have a little hair clip to section off smaller sections of hair. I have bobby pins in order to fix little mistakes, because I'm not personally perfect at this hairstyle yet, so I still need to practice, and therefore I'm gonna have little mistakes that can be fixed with bobby pins. I have clear little hair ties, and I have 4 of them, and they look like this. You can get them at Walmart, and they just, yeah, these are necessary. And last but not least, I have my headscarf. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is brush your hair back as if you were starting a ponytail. So this is just because most of your hair is heading towards the back and is going to be that way for the entire hairstyle, so it's just going to make your life easier. Second thing you're going to want to do is take your hair dividing thing and section out a small section of hair to make the poof with, because you're going to need it later and it's just easier if you do it first. Alright, so now you have your section, so you're going to want to put the hair that you won't be needing for now, because you will need it, in just one of your scrunchies or hair ties in the back. Then you're going to take that small little section of hair and twist it into a little bun, because there's other stuff you'll need to be doing and it's just going to get in the way and you'll need it later. And we're going to speed this up. Alright, so you're going to put that in the scrunchie and it's going to be out of the way, and then you're going to get ready to do the next step. I'm doing a voiceover for a lot of this, so it's I don't know exactly how I did this. Alright, yeah. So you just got a little tiny bun. It's not supposed to be flattering, so don't try to make it cute and stuff. So yeah, it's just to get it out of the way. So then you're gonna brush your hair forward, because now you're gonna be sectioning out the hair that you're gonna need for the Dutch braids. I am saying Dutch braids, and if you still need a tutorial on how to do that, please go to the other hair tutorial video just for that. Alright, so we're going to section out small little sections of hair.
Alright, our hair is sectioned away, and you can see I made a crisp line where it is, not like an awkward line. I made a crisp line where my sections are. I'm going to put my hair in a scrunchie again with the hair that I won't be needing right now. So those two sections are going to be where your Dutch braids are going to be. So we're going to start with the one on the left. Hope that's my left. That's okay. And this is a step where you will be needing your hair scarf thing. And I told you, I told you guys that I'd show you what you'd be needing it for. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make it half and then put a little bit over, like a little, like off half, and because you're going to be pulling it, so it'll make it even. And you're going to want to take a clip and pin it to that side. That will make it so that you can tie it onto one of the pieces of hair. So you're going to pin it over there so that it'll stay, so that you don't have to, because it's kind of a struggle to get it on. So practice this a couple of times, just tying it onto the hair, because it's just going to not be great if you don't really get it. So make sure you don't need to practice. I mean, it'd be smart to practice the entire thing, but just practice at least getting onto a piece of hair. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting it into 3 sections, and I'm going to pin the top piece away and the bottom piece away, so that we were just working with the middle piece, because the middle piece is where you're going to be tying the bandana to, or headscarf, or pirate scarf, or whatever you want to call it. But we're going to pin the bottom piece away with I just have little hair clips, and we're pinning those away. And then we're going to take our headscarf, and I tie a double knot so that it'll stay better. And you're just going to kind of wrap it around the middle section of hair so that you can make a knot. So I go over, under, and then over again to create a hole to put it in to make a knot. So practice that it would be smart, because it took me a couple of tries to figure out a good way to get it. So yeah, you just want to tie a double knot so that it will stay, or else it will move as you braid. So as I said earlier, this is a voiceover, so I'm watching the video and just trying to make it as even as possible. So yeah, tie that second knot, and your hair will kind of get caught up in it. Just pull it tight while you pull that, and there's your knot. So then that is gonna become your middle section of hair. So it's a knot, and rather than it being separate, you still have 3 pieces. One piece just has the headscarf in it. So then you're going to braid as you normally would. And yeah, so you're going to take that middle piece and put it over the piece closest to your root, and then just Dutch braid normally. And then you're going to add hair to the bottom piece. And when you get to it, the piece with the headscarf is gonna get added hair. It's just a piece of the braid. That's what it is. It's not separate from the braid. It will remain in the braid the entire time. It'll just have that effect already. So as you end the near end of the left braid, you notice that the red headscarf ended up being across my forehead, but also into the braid. And that's how you want it. You also want it to be around the same length of the other one. The bandana doesn't necessarily need to be even, but it's easier if your braid lengths are. And also, one thing you want to know is that I braided towards the back of my hair, like braided towards where the little ponytail is, so that it just doesn't create any weird bumps. That's why there's some bumps right now, is because it's supposed to be towards the back, not towards the front. And they will go away once you put in your half up, half down. So those are what your two braids are supposed to look like. As you can see, the red headscarf is braided into it, but there's also some extra. And some of you with shorter hair but can still do the hairstyle, we will have to trim it, and I'll figure that out. Because I understand not everyone's hair is as long as mine. And yeah. So that's how that's supposed to look. Now we're going to work with the hair that we sectioned off earlier with our fancy sectioning tool. And we're going to create a poof. Now if you don't know what a poof is, it pretty much just adds volume to the top of your hair. And just creates a little poofy thing that looks cute. And goes with our pirate theme. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a comb or a tiny brush and comb backwards, which is teasing. If you've never teased your hair before, well, that's how you do it. You just comb backwards. And I use a finer brush or a comb, because if you use a thicker brush, it's not going to get the volume you want, because you're not using a super big section of hair. It's just a tiny little poof. And because if you were doing a bigger poof, a brush would be easier, but you want something finer to create little tangles and a little rat's nest. And I promise that's not what your hair is gonna look like. Like, you'll see. I explain. So you're just, and I also split my hair into two sections so that just I can get more volume added. Because if you only use one section, then it won't be as much volume as you can get with two. So with those two sections, I just smoothed it over. Or not smoothed it over, we're not there yet. Just teasing it and just getting as much volume as I can get. Because it won't look as nice if you don't have that volume added to it. So the more volume you can add to that small section of hair, the better. And also, because my hair doesn't tease super well. So yeah. And you can hairspray it, and we'll get there. We're not there yet, but we'll get there. So now what I'm doing is I'm smoothing it over, because you don't want your hair to just have like some sections of hair and then like rat's nest. So you're going to just take like the very top layer and lightly, not try to get those tangles out, lightly smooth over the rat's nest. And you want to start kind of bunching it up in the back and creating that bump. And I know I said I wasn't going to use it, but I used the small little brush I used on the other side of the sectioning tool. And I brushed super lightly and just kind of went over that top layer of hair. And you want to just try to get bumps out and just make a solid poof. Alright, so that's what that looks like for now. And you're just, like I said, you're going to want to bunch it in the back. And because you don't want it to go like spread across your head, you want it to be like a small section in the back so that you can bobby pin it down. So I'm just going through, smoothing out the bumps and all that jazz, because bumps are kind of nasty, and hiding the rat's nest underneath. Because we don't like to see rat's nests, we like to see pretty poofs. And the best way to get good at that is practice. Tease your hair, and yeah. I messed up, so that's why there's like an awkward skip. And I didn't really want to try to edit it so it's smooth. But yeah. So that's the explanation for that. So I tried to it wasn't really working all that great. Like there was one bump that wasn't going away. So I kind of gave up and just teased again and then smoothed it over, which is totally okay. You don't need to get it first try. Practice makes perfect. So I'm not perfect at this hairstyle, so I need to keep practicing, and I will keep practicing as you should. So now I'm just kind of, my poof looks a little bit better. I'm just kind of smoothing over the rat's nest super lightly, and then bobby pinning. So I made a small poof, and I'm bobby pinning it in the back. And what I do is I make an X with the bobby pins and put one diagonally on one side and put one diagonally on the other side. And then I put a flat one just to secure it, because it is secured, but then that flat one just kind of guarantees that it's secured. And if anyone asks about it, you can say, oh, it's part of the show because, X marks the spot. Yeah, that was on purpose. Wink, wink. So, yeah. Now you're going to take the hair, because you will have hair left from the poof because all you did was bobby pin it down. So you're going to take the hair that came outside of the bobby pins and your 2 braids from earlier, and you're going to put them into a half up, half down look. You're going to put them into a little tiny ponytail, and take my black rubber band and just put it into a little ponytail. I wrapped it around about 5 times. If you're like, how many times are you wrapped around? How many you need to make it tight, because you will be wearing this all day. Because it's difficult. It is a difficult hairstyle, I will say that. So that's why you need to practice it, and you don't want to take it out and then have to redo it later. So you want to make that tight. And yeah. So now we're going to work with the hair that we scrunchied off earlier. Also, that's where you're supposed to be at. You want to have that half up, half down look. And we're just going to kind of smooth it out, untangle it. You're going to want to take a small section of hair. This is to add, I guess, dimension. I don't think dimension's the right word, but I can't think of another word. And you're just going to want to braid it. And just normally braid it so outsides go over the middle piece, not like Dutch braiding where it's the opposite. And you're just going to want to braid it down, and that'll just add dimension. You're going to want to do the same with the other side. You can braid this one all the way down, unlike the ones that we did earlier where it was only to a small part. So you had some hair left. No, you just want to braid this one all the way down so that it adds dimension. And yeah. Alright, so we are nearing the end of the final braid, and as you can see, we just have 2 small braids that will blend into the hair in the back, and we're gonna hair tie that down. They don't need to be even, they just need to go as far down as they can. If the hair ends up being uneven to start, it will be difficult to make it even at the bottom. So yeah, you just want to take a small hair tie. I use clear ones from Walmart, and just secure it. So then you're going to have 2 braids. Alright, so then you're going to move those to the back. And here is what it should look like. You're going to have 2 braids and all that. So then what I do is I go through and I have some bumps into the braids. So I just bobby pinning those bumps down so that they're out of the way. Don't have to worry about them anymore. The knot does add some extra things. So, and then, as I said before, I use hairspray and a toothbrush. It's amazing, an amazing little hack that I saw on Instagram. I just take a hairspray and a toothbrush and just I go over the poof a little bit and the braids and just brush back any wispies that are there, and it just makes overall the look a little cleaner. I also forgot to spray hairspray, But yeah, you want to put a final layer of hairspray over everything, because then it'll just make it hold better and more secure, and you'll feel better about it. All right, and that's it. And that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's it.
Alright guys, this was your hair tutorial. I'm going to do one last turn around. This is basically what it's supposed to look like. I kind of messed up on evenness, but that's okay. It does not need to be perfect. And okay, so I will get these to you as soon as possible. And once you guys get them, we'll cut them to length to match your hair. For me, I have super long hair, so the length doesn't really matter for me. I know not everyone has that, so. And then short hair people, yes. So you guys will need to talk to Brenna if you have questions, but basically you guys are just gonna be crimping your hair. Doesn't need to be all of it, just kind of the front, possibly the back if your hair is too short to do this, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. And then you guys are gonna have one of these and it's gonna go in here. Brenna has specifics, so if you have any questions, short-haired people, please go to Brenna. Now, I want everyone to at least try this because it would be really cool if we can get as many people as we can to do this. But if it doesn't work, then yes, do the short hair. But you need to practice this. There were some people last time that did the short-haired hairstyle even though they had long enough hair to do the other one. So please just try this, and if it doesn't even make it to the half up, half down, then don't worry about it. We have another option for you, but please try this. And yeah, so I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I love answering them, so yeah. Alrighty.